Hello. Hi, everyone. The program will begin in 5 minutes. So for everyone gathered here today, please take your seats, and we ask that you all abide by the required 6-foot social distancing requirements whenever possible. Thanks. Can you hear that? Yeah. No. I have gloves. Yeah. Yeah. Good. How are you? Yeah, me too. I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be a part of it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Have you been down here yet? Yeah, me too. It's been a long road. That's okay. Yeah. There's a few folks that I haven't seen since the start of it. Yeah. 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 I think that's the good thing to do. Okay, I think we're going to begin the ceremony here. So thank you again for joining us, virtually and in person, for the unveiling of Calgary's permanent homeless memorial. My name is Michael Grant, and I'm assistant planner with the Calgary Homeless Foundation, and I'm also a social worker. I've had the privilege of being a part of this project from the beginning, and I'm proud to see it come to life and to serve as the MC for today's formal program, which we will begin with a land acknowledgement. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land upon which we gather today is Indigenous land. We also recognize that the traditional Blackfoot name of this place, where the Bow River meets the Elbow River, is Mohkinstsis, which we now call the City of Calgary. We would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, as well as the Treaty 7 territory, which includes Tsuut'ina and Stoney Nakoda, which is comprised of the 3 bands of the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley. Calgary is also the home to the Métis people of Region 3. Today's event commemorates the unveiling of our city's permanent homeless memorial. The permanent homeless memorial marks a space where we can come and remember those we have loved and lost while experiencing homelessness. It also serves as a tangible reminder of the urgency of the work to address homelessness in our city so that no Calgarian has to live or die in homelessness. The memorial was made possible through the collective effort of many. I am pleased that we had the opportunity today to hear from several of the people and groups that made this memorial possible. Following their remarks, the speakers will lay a flower at the foot of the memorial to honor those who have passed. At the end of the program, we invite all of you here at the site to do the same. To begin then, I welcome Elder Casey Eagle Speaker to perform a blessing this morning. Welcome, Elder Casey Eagle Speaker.
Okay. I am Saul Horst, member of the Kainai Nation, part of the Black Confederation. Welcome you all here this morning. You know, looking at homelessness, now I was looking at the pandemic regarding the virus, but there is a pandemic of homelessness. We must also acknowledge that to honor those who have passed on without a home in this physical world of ours. But to realize in our way, in the Blackfoot way, that they are home now with our Creator, walking with our Creator in the spirit world. But we must never forget those who are still homeless out there. And there will be others to follow to enter that spirit world. You know, it's a sad case that we understand that we know that all people deserve a home, a place they can live and have hope. And through the endeavors of the Homeless Foundation, we know that that's coming true for many, but still not enough. And all we can do is send blessings in their way, but to have support from all people, from all walks of life, to provide that. And this memorial is that we hope that that's going to bring a lot of light to the people, to bring that vision. In reality, this shouldn't even be happening, but it has. There are way too many people who are lost. Just like you see, my voice has been lost now too. But if we all walk together to help end this homelessness for people, to live in harmony again, and to have hope in front, at the very pinnacle, in every walk of life for every person. Many of us wake up without second thought. We are in our homes, comfort, warmth, and yet there are many on the streets who don't have that privilege. And we must help end that in some shape or form. To pray for those who have passed on. Now, I thought about this over the past few days, knowing I was going to do this, and the reality is that no person should ever enter the spirit world being homeless in this world, without family, without a sense of belonging, and that's really important. They didn't have that. So I'll do my blessing in Blackfoot. And I think Joe Croteau is going to translate that back into English for you. But I are not being at those. I cook him a kiss, man. Episodes for 2 episodes. I spent you up that and scut smoke at the Kistiko. Okay, Kim Matters, Pat built Matcopio. Can she is the Pocap see? Okay, about my spat built back. What the piece of the American Axtico is sag. Actually, seeking what up and spat built back. Can that be no expense spat built back? Skaki Matcumi sticky exag. Okay, Matters spat built back, Matapio. Okay, Saki, that's the Matcopio. No coots, whom start tag. Okay, my coots, so you can't get spat built back. I get no cut the steepest bed, but I can look at that crap check is soft check. Oh, toots for walking nanak. Can stop by no cut skate him up, see the pits and nanak. Get the next stop is bed built back. That's just cost up on the kitchen quick. Some what you can nak. I talk in nanak. Kaya kimata spat pio panik sak ni ko mata pakin nanak. O kaya mak sabi ko tong spat pio pak. O okto swum tatak. Mata pio kak tot sapi takio kak it's cheap pak kak. Ap kimat ko kak kak. O kit sochi kak it kut date sip na spat pio pak it kan ko pio ko saksak. O kaya ta pakam stupan okchikoi kak. Ogan sni sok pe pa because it's just a map show kag tips just task yo pa po ka ka kum khpe kag ken kes skap just me kag guys tais ko si kam kes just map yo kag kam kag po in accept kag kag I can look at skim to spat po pak what's kin sa pak pe kag okay spat po pak ogan up no kes spum stat tag okay kim mat do kinan ho ken ko kana pio isna kamotan ska ki same pata pisen kim ma pi sin ikak so thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder Casey Eagle Speaker. I would now like to welcome Nigel Kirk, a member of the Client Action Committee, who are a voluntary advisory group of individuals with lived experience of homelessness, whom I've worked with for about 5 years now, and I couldn't be more proud to work with this group of folks. Nigel will be acting as a spokesperson for the committee, which were instrumental in envisioning and bringing the memorial to life. Each year, the Client Action Committee helps host the Longest Night of the Year Memorial. This event takes place each year on December 21st to allow Calgarians to honor the lives of those who have passed away throughout the year while experiencing homelessness. The Longest Night of the Year is a citywide memorial. It includes heartfelt comments and a reading of names of those who we gather to remember. But the Longest Night of the Year is just one night. There has been no dedicated space to gather for the other 364 days of the year until now. Nigel will share a few thoughts about the journey to this unveiling and the significance of having a permanent memorial in our city. Welcome, Nigel.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Excellent. So one of the advantages of having studied theater in college is the fact that I've got a very loud voice. It's also come quite in handy during my advocacy work. You gotta be loud. As Michael had said, my name is Nigel Kirk, and I am a member of the Client Action Committee, a group of Calgarians who have lived experience of homelessness, many of whom are actively homeless, who try and use their voice to advocate for people who are experiencing homelessness. And for me personally, it's not just been about housing. There's a dozen organizations devoted to trying to end homelessness. I've always wanted to focus on dignity and human rights and the well-being of those who are experiencing homelessness. The first memorial service that we held, the first Longest Night of the Year service that we held, was about 7 years ago. And it was actually just myself, Randy, and a couple of our friends meeting together at a park with some coffee and candles, which at the time we didn't realize we shouldn't have had candles in public, that you needed a permit for that. But we were there to share stories of people that we had lost while we were on the streets. The following year, it grew into a much larger event with the help of the Calgary Homeless Foundation. And so here we are now today with a permanent marker. And I tend to forget a lot of my notes, so I apologize to Emily, but I think she's probably used to me going off script all the time now. The big thing is I've always said that dignity is not tied to a set of keys. And I can show you, I've got my keys right here. My keys to my apartment are right here. This should not be a marker of dignity. Unfortunately, for many Calgarians, it's too late for that. And this memorial is honestly the last dignity that we can often grant many people when it's way too late. I'd also like to invite everyone to consider this a place of sanctuary for the homeless. It is not just a memorial. It is a memorial, but it's also a sanctuary. This is a place where members of the homeless community are meant to come and feel safe. We have specifically designed this bench to be laid down on. We've specifically designed it to not have any hostile design. We have phone chargers here for people to stop and charge their phone. This is a place where the homeless can come, reflect as they feel they need to, as appropriate for them in whatever way that they want, where they can honor and remember the people that they've lost, and where they can be safe. And I would really like to hope that the City of Calgary and the citizens of Calgary keep that in mind when it comes to this space. And I think that is the big important message that I want to impart, is the concept of sanctuary. I myself have lost numerous friends to the streets. And I think just about most of us who have spent any significant time on the streets have lost someone that we love to homelessness. When we talk about someone who's passed away of homelessness, we don't just mean people who are actively homeless. We also recognize that homelessness is trauma, and the trauma experienced while homeless can lead to many complications even after getting housed, whether it be addictions, whether it be self-harm. That there are many things that can take someone off the streets related to homelessness. And so we also recognize people who have been homelessness, got housed, but their experiences on the streets also led them to their death. So I'd just like to thank everyone for being here, and I want to impart this memory on everyone and this concept of sanctuary, and that this might be a safe place for all Calgarians, regardless of who they are, who they love, where they live, what their income level is. This is a sanctuary for all. Thank you.
So well said, Nigel. Thank you so much. So as Nigel discussed, the Client Action Committee recognized the need for a permanent memorial. At the same time, Dr. Jessica Shaw, who's Associate Professor with the Faculty of Social Work at the University of Calgary, identified the need for a permanent memorial site through her research on end-of-life care for people experiencing homelessness. Members of the Client Action Committee and Dr. Shaw met at the 2017 Longest Night of the Year Memorial and created a plan to move this project forward. This included the launch of a successful GoFundMe campaign that was instrumental to the success of this initiative. I want to extend my gratitude to Dr. Shaw for her leadership and dedication. Please welcome Dr. Shaw.
Thanks, Mike. This really is I appreciate the introduction, but this is a community collaboration. In a city as wealthy as ours, and in a province and a country as wealthy as ours, there is no need for anyone to die from the effects of homelessness. And yet, in 2020, there were 202 people who we know of who passed away while experiencing homelessness in Calgary. And since I became involved with this project in 2017, that number is closer to 600. We need to work together. There is an incredible beauty and dignity that comes from when communities gather. I know that I just had my daughter 3.5 weeks ago, and she's here right now. And I want, as she grows up and as we continue to visit this space, I want to be able to tell her that this space was created because we used to lose someone every 3 days in Calgary. It's because we come together through our acts of love and compassion, when we offer people and restore dignity by listening to each other, that we can create change. We did this. We all did this. And when we work together, we'll be able to move towards ending homelessness, or at least reducing it, so that this need for this memorial is about people who have passed away in the past, and it's not an ongoing site and place that we need to revisit and add new names to every year. There are many reasons why this space is important, and I think Nigel has touched on some of them. From what our community members have said, having this space is important because on the street, sometimes your street family, your chosen family, becomes as important or more important than your biological family. And when you lose someone from the community, the personal and the community loss can be devastating. And it might be days or even weeks before someone finds out that someone has passed away, There are many restrictions in place, especially for our folks who are experiencing homelessness outside of COVID, that prevent them from being able to visit with family and friends at hospitals and at hospices. And sometimes where someone is laid to rest is either not known or not accessible by transit. And so having this space, a permanent space to gather, to reflect, to mourn, to offer sanctuary is incredibly important, and is a shift that I hope, whether we're housed or unhoused, all Calgarians will be able to walk through this space and feel a sense of peace, a sense of mourning, and also perhaps a call to action, so that this memorial site really does become something of honoring people in the past and not the need for continuing to think about people in the future. So thank you to everyone who has been here. It's been an incredible, Mike mentioned the GoFundMe campaign, over 114 individual donors, the Beltline Community Investment Fund, the Calgary Homeless Foundation. We've had incredible people who have donated financial resources. We've also had folks donate their creativity and their time and their love through the creation of art. Fuse 33, Studio West Bronze Foundry, who did the backpack, Canadian Artists Against Poverty. It really, truly has been a beautiful gathering of community, and I'm honored to speak with you and thank you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shah. I'd like to introduce another person who played a critical role in bringing the permanent memorial to life. In 2019, the Calgary Homeless Foundation approached Councillor Evan Woolley about the need for this homeless memorial. We are so grateful that he agreed to champion this endeavor with the City of Calgary. Councillor Evan Woolley has played an incredible role in making this memorial a reality, and for that, we say thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. I'm really honored. I am very honored, and my mouth is chattering, honored and humbled to be invited to be able to participate in this project. Such an incredible collaboration, and one that I've not seen in many years. This has been a long time coming, and I'm just really, really honored to get to be able to share the stage with everybody. Fittingly, this is my very last public event, and it's fitting that I get to do this as a part of that. As someone who has spent my entire life in this neighborhood, this community has been a very important community to me, and one that I have grown up with my whole life. I count many of our homeless citizens as my friends and neighbors, and I have watched them grow and watch their struggles over the years, and watched many of them disappear. And that's sad. I've always used the sentence that we need to take care of those in our society who need our help the most. But I find that often we spend a lot of time and energy, particularly at City Council, helping those who need our help the least. And we have monuments all over our city to the rich and powerful. And I'm just really pleased that we now have a memorial to those that are most marginalized and who have lost their lives being marginalized. They are our loved ones, they are our family members, they are our neighbors. And oftentimes they're dying alone on sidewalks and in alleys and along our riverbanks, and they are dying alone. And it was mentioned that oftentimes we won't find out for weeks that happened, and that makes me really sad. And for most of them, there's no service or space for us to remember them, and it's so exciting to see this happen today. One of my favorite organizations in this city is the Calgary, and I always mess up their name, the Calgary Cooperative Memorial Society, and it's in Community Wise. And I used to tour people through Community Wise, and it's just this little sign on a door. And every year, this little organization gives out little amounts of money so that people can bury their loved ones who are marginalized or who cannot afford to have a funeral. And I remember when I first heard of them, I thought, that is so sad, right? That some people do not have enough resources to help bury or memorialize their loved ones. And this mighty little organization does that every day. And it points to the power of community in our city, that there's little organizations that are out there doing that work every day. But now we have this space, and now we have this monument, and we've got three of them here. Those rich and powerful, they just have one, but we have three now. And I can't tell you how beautiful these pieces are. I've been biking home. I bike along this route to and from the office, and I was just amazed. It popped up. One day I was biking home, and I stopped, and it popped up. And over the last couple of weeks, I've biked by, and I've seen people spending the time here alone. And I saw someone just crying, sitting on that bench about a week ago. And so it's doing the job that it's supposed to do. And I wanted to thank everybody for this process. You know, oftentimes when we build these monuments, we don't engage in a thoughtful process in terms of what this looks like. And what's amazing about this street, and people don't really realize it in the Beltline, but 13th Avenue is a breezeway. It's actually a street that goes east to west. When you think of most of the important streets in our city, they move people north and south to get to and from home in the busy offices of downtown. Tom Mahler, who's one of my friends and a city planner, actually called this the breakup stroll at one point. But it is a space, and it was specifically built, this street, as a place to walk within the community and to connect. And so it's very wonderful that it is here and in this space. And I just wanted to again thank the committee and everybody for participating in such a thoughtful process. It's just beautiful, and I'm just so honored to have been able to play my tiny little small part. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Councillor Woolley. So, the permanent memorial was created by a group of artists belonging to Canadian Artists Against Poverty. All the artists who worked on the memorial brought their lived or living experience of homelessness or poverty to the project, creating a piece with deep personal significance. I would now like to ask the artists who created the permanent memorial to share their insights about the process and the meaning of each creative element of the piece. I'd like everyone to welcome Dale Keith and Day Pajarillo.
Morning. My name is Dale. I did this at Fuse 33 with a lot of help from various other people. All I want to say is to my buddy Max, who's passed away on the street. May he rest in peace. It was a lot of fun to build. I learned lots of things, and it was kind of fun. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Day Pajarillo. I represent CAP, Canadian Artists Against Poverty. I'm the one who designed the pillars and the bench. The pillars are, the project is called The Longest Nights, and it is close to my heart because my family almost experienced homelessness back in 2016. I came back from BC and I was jobless, and I have my daughter who just arrived to Canada, and I have a infant grandson then. And in 2020, I learned about this project from CAP, Canadian Artists Against Poverty. So I researched and observed images of homelessness. I saw documentary films and video clips and experienced passing by them, and I don't have anything to give. For them to die out in winter is really heartbreaking. When my design got approved, I was over the moon. And the Eagle Bench, it was inspired by my admiration for Native American arts. I used to have a book about an artist, and she was called Pitsiolak. I admire the totem poles and what they represent, and it is also an honor. It is also to honor the land where I live now. And I would like to thank Calgary Homeless Foundation, Mike and Jessica. It's a great honor for your trust and patience. CAP, Canadian Artists Against Poverty, Mina, for recommending me. Fuse 33 Makerspace for letting us use the space. Elena and Shannon, thank you. Studio West Bronze Foundry for the amazing backpack sculpture and plaque. Destiny Coop for your inspiring poem. Dale and Alex, congratulations to us all for a job well done. We're amazing. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Day and Dale. The Calgary Homeless Foundation has had the honor of coordinating the longest night of the year and provided funding to make this permanent memorial a reality. I would now like to welcome Patricia Jones, President and CEO of Calgary Homeless Foundation, to share her remarks.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the CHF board and staff, I'm so honored to be with you today to witness the unveiling of this memorial. At the Calgary Homeless Foundation, our clear purpose is to guide the fight against homelessness in our city, always in partnership with government, homeless serving agencies, and all Calgarians, including those who have experienced homelessness, so that everyone has access to the housing and the right supports they need to thrive. This memorial reminds us of our work together and that we must continue to strive for a day where homelessness is rare and non-recurring. Perhaps a dark, brief chapter in someone's life, but never a condition that defines one's life, and never, ever something that contributes to their passing. The fight against homelessness takes a collective effort, and the creation of this memorial reflects that. On behalf of the Calgary Homeless Foundation, I want to honor the efforts of all the stakeholders who were involved in the memorial, including the University of Calgary under the leadership of Dr. Jessica Shaw, the City of Calgary under the leadership of Councillor Evan Woolley, Canadian Artists Against Poverty, and Diana Cressy, my predecessor, who designated the funds on behalf of CHF to support the creation of this site. And finally, last and never least, the Client Action Committee, under the leadership of Nigel Kirk, Paul Jensen, and Teresa Conroy. And if you'll indulge me, I'm going to say their names again because so many of the people we serve, for many Calgarians, are nameless and faceless, and their names are important. Nigel Kirk, Paul Jensen, Teresa Conroy. In addition, there were a host of homeless serving agencies, government partners, and everyday Calgarians who supported this project. Thank you for your generosity, your collaboration. Your partnership was so critical to making this memorial a reality. And we have to remember that today is a stark reminder that we have much yet to do to fight homelessness in our city. We know that there has been an increase in the number of people who have passed away while experiencing homelessness in the last 18 months. It is important to remember that the people honored today are more than a number, and I've met several of you this morning and know many of you who have lost people. These were people who were mothers and fathers and grandparents and sisters and brothers and children and friends of someone who loved them. The Homeless Memorial was born out of a desire to permanently honor the memory of those who have died while experiencing homelessness. It is the fervent hope of the Calgary Homeless Foundation that this site creates the space for healing, the the space for healthy grieving, and a reminder for us that guiding the fight against homelessness is an honorable fight and worth one of all of us getting in the ring for. Thank you. Thank you again, all of you, for being here today in this crisp weather. It gives you a sense of what the people we serve deal with minute in and minute out, and often the kind of weather in which they pass into the next world. Thank you for being here today online, on site, and helping us mark this incredibly important occasion. Thank you.
So I'm now going to invite Elder Casey Eagle Speaker to do a smudge and a blessing of the memorial pieces now. So if everyone can turn around and join in. I would now like to ask Patricia, Nigel, Councillor Woolley, Dr. Shaw, Dale Keith, Dave Palario, and to lay flowers at the memorial. The laying of the flowers will be followed by a minute of silence to honor those we have lost. Dale. Thank you. As we approach the conclusion of the formal program, I would like to invite Sydney Gillup for a drumming performance.
Hello. My name is Gisiki Sukpiasu. And I've been a part of this since for quite a while as well too. I was lucky to know a lot of these men and women in ceremony and take them out of this where we are now, where unfortunately they lost their lives, and take them back to somewhere where maybe as kids they remember. Because when you spoke to these men and women, when you got them somewhere away from where it was this, and you weren't a social worker per se, but you were still able to connect with them, you would hear them tell stories about being with their grandparents, right? And knowing things, and having songs, and being part of ceremony, and remember seeing all of that stuff. So today, I'm here to honor that memory and all of those people, and these men and women here who made this possible that I still know today, and all the folks that still work here in the struggle to continue the well-being of the folks that suffer from this homelessness and this trauma. I want to thank Elder Eagle Speaker for opening this today in a good way, and welcoming us here to his traditional home territory, as we're all visitors here on this Treaty 7 territory. And we're all treaty people as well. And this song sings about missing a friend and wondering where he went. And then the last verse, the best way I can explain it in English is it sings about closure, and then knowing that they went on in a good way, and you can pray to them now and they'll help you.
ke taku yak chek tu e cheduk te lu hai.
All my relations.
Thank you so much, Sid. So we've reached the end of this morning's formal program. We appreciate each and every one of you who have joined us today. Encourage you all to take the time to visit this permanent homeless memorial located at 107 13th Ave Southeast on the north side of the street. Before we go our separate ways, I invite all those in attendance on site to take a flower from the front and lay it at the base of the structure and take the time you need to reflect. Thank you and be well.